It's the most wonderful time of the year unless you're trying to have sex and your mother-in-law is in the next room. So today we're going to talk about how to keep your relationship intact and maybe even get laid while managing family, finances, and all the festive stress. Welcome to Taboo Talks, Not Safe for Brunch, where nothing is off the table. We're diving into real conversations about sex, relationships, and self-discovery with zero shame and a whole lot of sass. I'm Coralie, tuning in from Vancouver. My superpower is going deep down rabbit holes and getting to the real root of things.
And I'm Amber. I'm based in Ontario. I'm proudly blunt. I cut through the fluff and get straight to what matters.
I'm Vicky. I'm from Manitoba, and my magic is creating real connection because intimacy starts with trust.
Grab your mimosa, your matcha, or whatever turns you on, and let's dive in. So, guys, let's start with the one that kills the most sex drives, house guests. But really, it's because hosting is unpaid emotional labor. I genuinely enjoy hosting, but it gets overwhelming with the mental load, the mess, the constant small talk. Like, I like deep talk. That's why we do this podcast. There's just so much, like, the mental load of entertaining often sometimes can come with where one partner is really over functioning and the other partner is kind of coasting. So the communication around that needs to be important.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you think hosting is bad, let's talk about something maybe a little worse. Sleeping in your childhood bedroom.
No,
I don't
thank
have
you.
one anymore.
Right. No, but serious question though, like, do you still have sex when you're at your parents' house or your in-laws' house? Is that still happening?
Gratefully, she's 15 minutes away and I can come home.
Maybe in the past though, like, do you know what I mean? Like, when you stayed over with your significant other, did you?
Absolutely. 100%. I am not punishing myself.
So I am typically a no girl just because I don't know how thin those walls are. you know,
Fun part. It's a fun part. How
but I will say there was one time, I'm not going to say whose house we were at, but we had a little too much Christmas cheer. We got a little freaky when we went to bed. I know we were loud, and I have been mortified thinking of that day for no one said anything.
And no one said anything?
But that was the last time we ever did it at one of our parents' houses. I was just too like, oh my God. You know, we're like, get away in the car and go do it in the car at our age. That's what we do. It makes us feel young.
Right. I mean, for the longest time, it was like, let's find the quietest place or a floor or whatever. We didn't want to make any like the bed creaks or whatever. At 42 and 52, we're not doing that anymore. It's just
Absolutely
a
not.
no-go.
I mean, and you know, it's kind of like the universe paying me back because my mom lives here now. No, we don't share a wall, fortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. I really need my privacy. But you do have to make a game out of that. How quiet can we be? But I don't. Yeah.
Right. Well, and if you're going to your childhood bedroom, if your parents still live in the same place or it's your husband's childhood bedroom or whatever, if you're going there and it still looks like the childhood bedroom, like, it's not very much of a turn on.
No, you know what I'm thinking in that scenario when that happened? I'm thinking about the last guy that I snuck into the house when I was 17.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going to be the oddball here because I think that does not necessarily a turn on, but back when we were in our 20s and my parents still lived at the house that had my bedroom in it, when we would go there to visit, not necessarily being in that bedroom, but being in that environment where we were staying a few days there, it almost felt like risky naughty. You know what I mean? Because it pulls you into that, ooh, we got to hide from our parents. Ooh, give you a little squeeze on your you know what when no one's looking. There's that little bit of naughtiness. And I think that can be really fun. But yeah, for us, it's like build it up until we get home or go out for a drive.
Right. We got to go pick something up.
Yeah, man, we forgot Scotch
My
tape
libido.
again. Where's the one go we just bought yesterday? I don't know.
You also might find that you're navigating like partner mismatches where one's really close to with the family and the other one's just minutes from leaving. Oh my God, when can
Mhm.
we get out of here?
Right.
Right? So you might have that struggle, which also is hard to get in the mood when you're feeling that kind of tension
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
the room.
I think that's a really good point. I think that there is a lot of families that have a lot of stuff, and that would be really hard, especially even leading up to the holidays. Where are we going to go?
Right.
Whose parents are we seeing? Where are we staying? What are we doing? What do we do if this happens? What do we do with that? Like, you're already so wound up in the shit. Like, I'm just so grateful that my life is so easy.
Well, and even
Sorry, guys.
but even
Um,
adding into that,
Go
when
ahead.
you have little kids, right? You have kids that are young that need routine, and then suddenly they're out of their routine because they're seeing all these relatives that they might not get to see who love to see them and spoil them. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that as a couple, especially if you have one that's like right there just happy to see the family and doing all the catch up, and one that's kind of managing, that's just a lot of extra pressure. And then when your kids are out of routine, they're not behaving as they normally would, which adds more pressure. But also, too, it might not even be that it's not that you don't like the family or anything, but maybe you're an introvert and your partner's an extrovert. That's generally what it was like with us, because I'm like,
right.
I need 2 to 3 hours to myself every day, or I'm going to go not to myself, but where I don't have to have, you know, ding, ding, ding. And so that can be another thing that you have to navigate. So,
Yeah. And I think it's really important to really have that conversation, communicate, talk about it before you get into the holidays, before you get into the hecticness, and decide, what you are going to do and what you're maybe going to skip, because it's okay to skip
yeah,
traveling home. It
you
really is
don't have to.
okay to stay home and
Yeah.
not do the
You know
things.
what? That is
Yep.
such a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. No matter how that conversation goes, something's going to go wrong. So I'm also going to suggest afterwards you have a decompress conversation and talk about what went well and what you guys need to change for the next time. And maybe even write it down,
Yeah.
because I promise you, you won't remember
Yeah.
it next year until you're in that moment. And only one of you is going to remember the plan.
Yeah.
Right, right. Now, if you do opt to still travel and go to the family's house, make sure you make time for some micro connections at least. Sneak some touches, some eye contact, short walks where you can kind of hang out and talk together and have a little bit of romance and escape the plan of the
Mhm.
busy season.
I wish we would have thought of this when we were doing this when our kids were younger, because we would go to our parents' house, and specifically, like my parents were a couple hours away, but my other parents were 8 to 10 hours away. His were 12 for a long time, right? So they never got to see the grandkids as much. I wish I would have thought like, hey, can I just dump the kids here and we're gonna go to get a hotel for an hour or for a night, not an hour.
How
Right.
sweet.
Then the kids get to spend quality time with their grandparents without the parents being like, they can't have this, they can't have that, da 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 da. And that
Right.
is such a good idea. Such a good idea.
So, whether you're hosting or you're visiting, the real enemy might not actually be your in laws, it's the holiday stress itself. It is the most stressful time of the year, and somehow we're supposed to be joyful and horny? I don't know. How does that work? There are so many unrealistic expectations, from movies to social media, like exhibit Hallmark movies. They're setting the tone for us, and it's not romance. We're not skating and falling in love and all the things. Like, I just,
No, I'm falling and bruising myself. Like,
right. Yeah, we're talking an ER visit.
yeah.
No,
Carly
I'm
doesn't
out.
need any more of those. Also, the tension that happens around, money. What if one of you is a saver and one of you is a spender? One of you is like keeping up with the Joneses, or you want your kids to have all the things, or the Santa gifts are incredibly expensive, and it creates this mindset that is not thoughtful or feeling of love. And I don't love that. And of course, a mental load imbalance. So women are often doing 90% of the gift planning, cooking, wrapping. How that impacts libido, it's really hard to feel sexy when you're doing inventory on Amazon and checking all the lists. And do we have enough scotch
No,
tape?
you don't. Go to the store.
Never.
You do not. That is true. You do
Oh,
not. So, recentering, talk early about what matters most, as we just chatted about, fewer gifts, more naps, some good lube, like, just really plan for the connection and use intimacy as a stress reliever. I always say sex is medicine, you guys. Not everybody agrees with me, but it's not a chore. And it is meant to make you feel good. And it is meant to relieve stress. So have some orgasms. I don't care if you have to run to the bathroom and do your own business. Take care of your own mental and physical health so that you can make it through the day or days. Grab your little micro wand. You're good to go. That's right. And of course, some quick tips for reconnection 10 minutes, like no phones, no list, just have some cuddle breaks. Let's take 10 minutes and just breathe, right? I don't know if you've ever done this, but I notice that when I match someone's breathing, it's extremely calming. Or if I'm the one that's stressed, if somebody else starts deep breathing, I just naturally go with it. And it's a really great tool that we could be using more of. One, no plans night, mid season. Just calm down. Just take some time and reconnect and just decompress. Again, it's going to give you that boost to get to the other side. I think that's really important. An advent of affection, small playful daily gestures just to make sure that your partner is feeling appreciated and vice versa. So those could be really small things. These are not things that you buy necessarily, or it could just be effort or are you good? How are you doing? What can I do to help? Some naughty stockings, you could put those by your bedside. Why not, right? I like that. And that could be where you put in some nice little treat for one another. So, the moral of the story, well, protect your peace, lower your expectations, and remember, there's always January makeup sex. So, what's one thing you're doing differently this holiday season to keep your sanity and your sex life intact?
I'm not inviting family over for the night.
Yeah.
We're going to have about 8 people here, including like my kids, partners, and stuff. And one thing that I'm doing totally different is like, I love to cook a Christmas dinner. I spend 2 days cooking it. It is like, I love to cook it. I love to eat it. I don't want to do it this year. I'm tired. I'm tired. So we're doing raclette. My daughter's boyfriend's here from Germany,
Oh, nice.
and we're doing a raclette. And then the side dishes that I love, I'm actually cooking them a week before, a couple days before, so that we can just snack on them for lunch. Like, why do I have to save my Brussels sprout casserole for Christmas Day when I can make it on the 22nd and have a little bit every day? And it just means like, so on Christmas, we're having like a continental breakfast and snacks and raclette, like no hours and hours slaving over one meal.
Think about all the hot sex you can have if you cut out
Right.
that
And
big, huge
and you're
meal.
not full. You don't
Totally.
have the turkey farts.
You're
Yeah,
not turkey sleepy.
Yeah.
totally. So it's going to be so chill. Like,
Totally.
it's funny because when my kids were younger and I was younger, I would go all out because I wanted them to have that perfect Hallmark movie Christmas, right? And since they're older and they're gone, and I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't, but I'm happy to let it go and just let it be this relaxing, fun, whatever the fuck I want it to be, because I'm 50 and I do what I want.
Mhm.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah, I have a whole new year. My daughter and her partner live together. I am sure that we will see each other on Christmas Eve. Past that, it's dealer's choice. I feel kind of excited. It's the first Christmas that I will be alone, and I'm
Yeah.
not mad. I'm not mad about it. It's just another transition into my new life, and I'm not banking on meeting somebody between now and Christmas, nor would I even think about having holidays with them. So that won't be happening. But if Santa decides to slide down my chimney, I don't know.
I love it.
So the holidays aren't about getting it right. They're about getting through it together. You don't need a perfect holiday, just one where you still like each other by New Year's would be nice. And if you're listening to this hiding from your family in the bathroom, I see you. We all see you. Love it.
From all of us here at Not Safe for Brunch, we want to wish you a happy holiday season filled with joy, peace, and the bare minimum of family drama. Ideally, none, but let's be real, there's probably going to be some. May your turkey be moist, your boundaries be firm, and your relatives' political opinions remain unspoken. And if you're hosting, remember, unpaid emotional labor does not count as a gift.
Happy holidays from the Not Safe for Brunch crew. May your year end with good orgasms, better snacks, and someone else doing the dishes.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for pulling up a seat at the Taboo Talk, Not Safe for Brunch table. If today's chat made you laugh, think, squirm, or all three, do us a solid, like, follow, and leave a review. It's basically the podcast world's version of a good tip.
Want more juicy, unfiltered conversations? Tap the link in the show notes and sign up for our weekly newsletter, your VIP pass to what didn't make it on the air.
Brunch isn't just about the bites and bubbles. It's about showing up real, raw, and ready to talk about what really matters. So until next time, keep it bold, keep it curious, and definitely keep it not safe for brunch.